Hey everyone, it's Sarah. I've gotten a lot of questions about the posts I make where I show my word count. People keep asking me what that program is, and that program is Scrivener. And I'm sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. They are here living their lives and entertaining themselves very nicely. So let's start. This is going to be very informal. I might not know what I'm doing. I'm not going to show you documents with my writing in it, but I will make a new document and lead you through that. So when I open Scrivener, this is what it looks like. They do have an interactive tutorial, but I find that it is confusing. Scrivener can be really overwhelming when you start, but it's actually pretty simple, and there's a lot of reasons why I write early drafts in Scrivener. I do eventually switch over to Microsoft Word. I keep getting distracted by my kids. But anyway, you can start blank. They have ones for fiction, nonfiction, script writing. Let's just open a fiction one. I tend to go between fiction and just making a blank document, and there's so many ways you can set up a file in Scrivener. Let's just hit novel and create. I'm just going to call this book 3 because I will write one. So title it. When I open it, so this is what you get. It is a template, so it's showing me, how to use the template. There's a lot of options. So here you'll see is kind of just a document. That's where you're typing things. Over here you see synopsis. That's where in this little card you could type a synopsis. And down here, this I think is newer to Scrivener 3. I was using an earlier version of Scrivener for many years, and they did not have this notes section last time I checked. What is this? Camera. Oh, okay. So you can also add, photos. You can tag elements. I don't use all of this. Drag in documents or external files to create bookmarks. That seems cool. You can comment and make comments on your document. I tend to do all of that in Word or Google Docs, so that's kind of here. So this is just template. I get rid of this when I do not need it. Here is the manuscript, and you'll notice these cards. So some people set up, a folder for every chapter, and then they have a document for the scenes within that. I switch between, I do play around with it a lot, and that's what I like about Scrivener is I can move things around whenever I feel like it. So currently I just have each document is a chapter. I'm at that point in my draft where I kind of like having the chapter all together in one document, but you can do it any way you want. You'll see that we have characters here. If you want to create sub-documents that are all about characters, any places, front matter, I think that's probably if you are, if you're self-publishing and you want to have your front matter there. A whole notes section, there's a research section, and you can create these yourself on a blank doc, but the good thing about the novel template is that it's all there. And sample output, okay, this is just other kinds of stuff. This is an example of what a document might look like. Please do not type in courier. That's just, unless you like to, do you? This is all like samples, so I'm just gonna move this to trash. Oh, and they have some templates for character sketch and setting sketch. I typically don't, I don't need those templates. I tend not to do that sort of work, but my novels don't really require that much. I don't have that many characters with that many things that I would need to have that information on hand. It's just in my brain. But for those of you who do a lot of world building and research, that's a really great tool. So let's just set up a few chapters and I'll show you what you would do. So let's say this is my chapter 1. I would just come in here and edit it, so I can do chapter 1. You can call it whatever you want. So I could call it opening image. So when I'm usually setting up initially a document, I make it kind of like my beat sheet, so I would just have my beats as scenes. And some beats, they take more than one chapter, so then I would split them up. Anyway, so, oh, hold on. You found dice? My son wanted to show me the dice that he found. Okay, so when I have a chapter, so we'll turn it back to chapter 1. You'll notice that it will also pop up here. Wow, Sarah, what are you doing? I'm sorry about all the background noise. This is just my life. And then I have my scene here. I could call this scene what it is. So like maybe the character is her first day of work. I could call it that. Or I can call it, whatever I want. I could just call it scene 1. Okay. And, you can type right into it. So there we go. I typed something, changed the font, all that. It gets a little wonky when you copy it and paste it into Google Docs. And then if you make changes in the Google Doc, put it back into Scrivener's files. But that's really a minor thing that I'm sure there's an answer to. I just haven't figured it out. Let's say I want to make another chapter. I would just hit this plus button here, and you'll see that it goes right under chapter 1, but let's say I want a different chapter. What I would do is I would scroll down, convert to folder, and you'll see it's still kind of nested under here, but if I pull it to the side, sometimes this is a little tricky to do. I'm going to just pull it under Manuscript, and then you'll see it'll shift to the left, so it's no longer under that. So now I have chapter 2. Wow, I'm doing great progress on book 3. And let's say I want my scene under here, add new text. It falls right under there. So then I have scene 1. Or scene 1 of this. See, this is why I don't like to name them by scenes within the chapters, because then I have a bunch of scene 1 things called scene 1, and if I were to delete this and move it to trash, which is a tool I'm going to show you really quickly in a minute. My children are fighting about something, but hopefully they will resolve it. Then I have a bunch of scene 1s, and I don't know which one is scene 1. The one that I want. So I like to call them, when I do scenes, I do 1.1, and then here I would call this 2.1. This isn't really a Scrivener thing, this is just a process thing. So let's say I have another one too. There we go, I just hit plus, and now I've got that next one. Let's say 2.2, and maybe this one. So that's chapter 1, but I want to make clear to myself, opening beat, opening image, and I'm going to describe it here. And maybe I'm working on it, and I don't want to go back and revise yet because I'm not done with my draft, but maybe in working in chapter 2, I realize there's something I want to change in chapter 1, so I would just make a note to myself, like, change plant on windowsill or something. So I know when I go back to revise to do that. Now you can label, and there's a variety of reasons you might use labels. If you'll notice, you can also do a status. I will be right back. Give me one moment. We resolved our issue, so we're all good. So you can label each card as a status if you'd like. So if something is to do, in progress, first draft, revised draft, final draft, or done. So I tend to set up my chapters before I write in them because I do outline, so I have a sense of, and it changes as I write. I'll cut a chapter, move a chapter. So let me make one more chapter, and if I hit Manuscript, it'll automatically go, it won't be under these chapters, it'll be over there. Chapter 3, and let me convert this to a file, or folder, and I'll add a few scenes under it. Okay, just because I want you to be able to see some of these features in action. 3.2. Okay, so something that's really cool is if I hit this is the corkboard. Oops. I see, my chapters as index cards, and you'll notice that the scenes are nested within them, and that's kind of if I were to just hit chapter 1, then I get the cards for that specific chapter. So if I were to go over here, chapter 1 synopsis, so Charlene goes to work. This is not a character that I have made up, I'm just making this up. Chapter 2, she goes on a date. This is a very boring book, clearly. There's a murder. I'm not writing a thriller, but let's go with that. Okay. So then if I hit Manuscript, you'll see I have that summary there. It's really nice to see. And I can, color code it. So maybe there is a dual timeline. So then the book I'm working on does have a dual timeline, so this has been really useful for me. So chapter 1, I might want to put present. Chapter 2, I might want to put past, or what have you. And you don't have to put it there. I like to see it on the side. So that's just my personal preference. But what's really cool is if I go here, I can label these however I want. So maybe I just want to get an overview. I would maybe choose, I want to do blue for anything that's in the present. So you'll see a blue tab. And you can change this to, I believe, where you can make the whole thing that color. I will see if I can figure that out in a moment. And let's say the past is red. So automatically I see where are my, so if I need to move things around, I can do that. I'm trying to see if I can change how that functions. So edit, let's see, label list, formatting. Oh gosh, this is I haven't really dug into this. But I'm not sure, and you can change the colors if you want. Anyway, there is a way to make the whole card that color. I just don't know what that is off the top of my head. Still a useful tool. I can also, and you'll see it's down here too, let's say this chapter is pretty revised. It's where I want it to be. I'll just, it's not a final draft, so I could label that revised. Here, I'm going to make this, first draft, and maybe I haven't written this chapter yet, so I'm going to call that to do. It used to be that, and I haven't been using Scrivener 3 for very long, but I remember that it would have over the card, it would state that label. I'm pretty sure there's a way that one can do that. Keyword chips, cards across. You can change, how big you want the cards, how many across. Let's see, what's this? And you can change the way you look at them. I don't know what this difference is supposed to be, but that's fine. So anyway, when you have all your cards, it's very easy for me to see where everything is, what the status is. So whenever I click here, it'll tell me what that status is down here. I do wish there was a way that I could see it. And there's also structure-based types, so if something's a heading, you can mess with that. I sing when I'm thinking, so make the default. I did not want to do that. Anyway, we'll move on, and you can insert files and stuff. Something that I love, and this is why we're playing with dice. Something that I really love about Scrivener, and this is why I do all my early drafts in Scrivener, is that if I say I don't want this scene anymore, another moment. Okay, so if I say I don't want this scene anymore, I hit move to trash. And the thing that's really cool about that is that it's not deleted. It lives in my trash. I can't tell you how many times I have deleted a scene or a chapter only to decide later, hey, that works now, or I need that now. And I don't have to worry about it being gone forever because it's here. Now, caution that if you just delete a paragraph out of a card, it's gone, because it's not the whole card you're moving. So if you're working, this is where I like to work in scenes sometimes, or I wish I liked to work in scenes with their own cards, because I'll delete, a whole scene from a card for chapter 1, and then that's gone. I mean, I can undo it right now, but I'm saying if I were to save that, it would be gone. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know this. Total target, total progress. That's pretty cool. Now, the feature that most people, I like that listing. So you can also view it like this. I did not know that. Or that. Or like this. I don't know what that's about. Yes, darling. Back again. So something that people are seeing is when I post my word count, if you go to File and you hit, or maybe it's View, where is it? Of course, right now I can't remember anything I'm doing. Project. If I go to Project, my camera is in the way. I use my phone as a camera. If I go to Show Project Targets, I get this window. I love this. This is one of the best things about Scrivener is that anything in the manuscript under that section is called, it's in compile, and I'll show you that. But it totals the word count for everything while also showing me the word count for each scene. But if I hit project and project targets, I can decide, what my goal is. So draft, target, count, current, compile, group only. That means it won't include anything in this research down here, which is good because I don't want that counted towards my manuscript length. And yeah, only count documents set to be included in compile. So let's say I have a deadline, which I do, but I like to give myself different deadlines. Let's say my deadline is, okay, we'll do my book 2 deadline. It is September 1st, 2021. So that's my deadline, okay? But I need to put how much my goal is. So if I go, hold on, here, manuscript target, my contract says 85,000 words. That's what I'm going to shoot for, even though this is not that book. And when I write, it will show, my deadline. It calculates how many days I have left until my deadline, and it will tell you how many words to write to hit that. What I also love is I don't write on the weekends. I like to take days off. So, and you can decide when you want it to reset. I do it every day. You can allow negatives if you hate yourself. Automatically calculate from draft deadline. That's what I like to do. So it tells me how much I should write each session. So like, for me, that's every day. Not every day. So I do not write on Saturday and Sunday, so I'm gonna do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I also have the choice to, state if you allow writing on day of deadline. Of course I do. And I would hit OK. So it's showing me, 85,000 words. I need to write 544 words on every writing day. So that does not include Saturday or Sunday to hit my target. And it's showing I have 1. So let me just grab a document real quick, pop it in there so you can kind of see what that looks like. Great, so I just snagged some of Anne Lamott's essay, Shitty First Drafts, which my students are reading. Popped it in here. You'll see that, my chapter 1, scene 1 is 357 words. And if I go to project, show project targets, I now see my progress for that day. So I've got 357 words total, and here's great, it's showing me how much I did of my daily session. And it will keep recalculating. So let's say I undershoot my goal for today. The target for tomorrow is going to be a different number because the amount of words I have left. If I overshoot it, same thing. So that's really cool to see. I will show you that in my book that I'm actually working on without actually showing you the book itself. Here's Untitled Nina book. I've hidden things I don't want you to see. But if I go to project, show project targets, you'll see that, go me, I have 61,342 words of my 85, and it's really validating to see that progress on the blue bar. You'll notice I did not write anything today. And am I writing every day? I need to see. No. So I have it as that. So I have, hold on, baby. You will see I did not do any writing today. I have 946 words to write today to hit my deadline of March 1st, which is in 25 days. Really not a bad situation to be in. And even though my goal in my head is I just want to hit 62,000, really that matters less than what's this. So I will probably write a little bit more than that. But in my mind, as long as I hit 62K, I'm pretty happy. Some days I hit my target and some days I don't. And you can change all of this if you need to. Let's say book 1, or the book. Oh, be right back. I don't remember what I just said because I was dealing with a conflict. Oh, sorry. There's not really anything revealing there. It's just kind of, and it's all going to move. But yeah, so that is how I use Scrivener. I'm trying to think if there's any other features that I want to show you. Probably not right now. But if you have questions, you can let me know and I will be happy to answer them. It's a wonderful tool Sometimes you can find a promo code, especially after NaNoWriMo. Anyone who wins NaNoWriMo usually gets 50% off. So it's worth asking around on Reddit or Twitter, Instagram, if anyone has a spare Scrivener NaNoWriMo code. If not, it's definitely worth what it costs. I think it was $40. I'm not sure, but I use it every single day. Now, when I get further along, I usually have a Word document and a Scrivener doc, and I work between them both because sometimes I like to see, the book in document form because that's what I'm sending to, my agent, to my editor. That's what you would query with. So definitely have both, but those early drafts, especially when I'm making huge changes, and let me open this up again, I can move things around. So maybe, actually, I don't want this scene here. I want that in chapter 2. Boom, now it's in chapter 2. I'll just retitle it. It's really great for organizing things, especially when you're in that cork board mode and you can see all the different scenes now and their summaries. So yeah, I think it's a great tool. I think everyone should at least try it out and stick with it to learn it because it might make you much more organized like me, and it's a lot easier to move things around and